Everyone loves a good chocolate chip cookie, and I love making them. Tonight, we're going to shake it up. Everyone loves a good chocolate chip cookie, and I love making them. But tonight, I'm going to take my recipe and go a little nuts. Is that what we said? What was the last line that we said? What was the last thing that we said? There is lines. There is lines. Everyone loves a good chocolate chip cookie, and I love making them. And tonight, my recipe is going to get a little nuts. Hi everyone, my name's Stefania, and tonight in my kitchen we are making pistachio chocolate chip cookies. Let's get to it. So, first thing our recipe is going to call for is browned butter. Now, to go ahead and make brown butter, it's very simple. You just take the butter that you're going to use in your recipe, and you're going to heat it up on the saucepan, on medium, and you're just going to let it bubble, gently, and it is going to, what's going to happen is the water is going to basically evaporate out of your butter, and you're going to see the milk solids that are in the butter start to caramelize or brown, and it's really quite simple. So after that, we are going to keep your butter melted, not super hot, but not cool, not like cold. All right, so we've got our butter. Then we're going to add brown sugar and granulated sugar. Those are both going in, and I'm going to have a recipe breakdown of all the amounts in the caption, so be sure to check that out, as well as give it a like, or subscribe to our channel if you like this recipe. So we are going to mix our sugars and our butter together. You don't really have to go crazy getting all the lumps out, but as long as they're not like huge. You can do this in a mixer, but I like to make the cookies by hand. It's simple. Breaking up any big lumps that I see of brown sugar. We are going to continue mixing. This is the easiest time to break up the lumps though. So, next you are going to add 2 eggs. Now I forgot to take them out of the fridge, but they're going to be fine. You can, I should say, use room temperature eggs, but it is going to be fine. So we've got 2 eggs going in. This dough comes together really quickly. I'm going to add some pistachio paste to this. It's kind of like peanut butter, but it's just pistachio instead of peanuts. So that's going to add a lot of flavor to our batter. It's going to color it a little bit, but it's a natural looking pistachio green, so it's definitely not going to be bright green. Just going to give it like some nice color, nice flavor really. Okay, so next we are going to add, I like to get everything ready to go. Can't forget our vanilla extract. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. All right, so we've got, I'm gonna go with our flour next. We are going to add our flour, our salt, and our baking soda. I mixed everything together. I weighed everything together in the same container, and then I just give it a little mix with a fork, so you make sure everything's incorporated. And before I mix that together, I'm actually going to chop up my add-ins because I like to mix everything at once instead of mixing in the flour and then mixing in the add-ins, and then it's just like so much mixing. It's just unnecessary. So these are actually roasted and salted pistachios. You could use unsalted. I would still toast them if you get ones that aren't toasted, because they aren't going to cook for very long in the oven. So you do want to have some extra flavor going on by having them toasted. And sometimes I like to add like a pinch of flaky sea salt to my cookies, like right after they come out of the oven. But since these are salted, I'm gonna forego that, and I think they'll have enough flavor just from these nuts being added. All right, so I'm gonna add these nuts to our bowl. And next, we're gonna add our chocolate, which I've also already weighed out. I like to do a mix of chips and I guess you could say chunks, just like regular melting chocolate, I guess. I'm blanking on what these are called, but they are not chocolate chips. They are more like professional use. That's what I have. But you can just get like a chocolate bar even, because I like the difference in, I guess, texture when you chop chocolate rather than just have chips. So that's why I like to mix it up. I've also got some chocolate here that I melt like from a different recipe that I've melted, and then I had extra chocolate, so I just let it cool down, and I use it for anything really. So I'm gonna chop that all up. I like chopping the chocolate because it creates these little flecks of chocolate pieces that get scattered all throughout your dough, and it's just really, I think it's pretty, and I think it really flavors the actual dough rather than it just being, you know, like I guess a brown sugar dough. It's got a little flecks of chocolate going all throughout. Once these get all mixed together, it just is a little bit of a waiting game. I like to chill the cookies, the dough, for probably like an hour or so. So this is what I'm also talking about. This stuff is really good. Good flavor. You don't want to leave that behind. Chocolate dust. Okay, so now I've got everything in my bowl. These are the rest of the ingredients of our recipe. And I'm just gonna mix it all up. And you want to make sure that your mixture is not too hot when you add your by the time you add your chocolate to it, because it will melt the chocolate if it is. All right, so here's our dough. It's cooling pretty quickly because it's on my cold countertop right now. Like the butter's solidifying, so that's in our favor. But an important reason you want to chill the dough is so the flour can hydrate. It just kind of helps with the spread of the cookies too. So what we're going to do now is scoop these on, I like to scoop them on like a parchment lined sheet tray, and then I'll pop them in the fridge. I use this scoop that I've gotten at a restaurant supply store. You can also get these on Amazon. They are so handy. I use them all the time. They come in all different sizes, and they're great for cookies especially. This recipe will make about 28 or so scoops, and this is personal preference on how big you want to make your cookies. You can make them massive, you can make them super small. This is kind of a medium standard size cookie, I guess. This size that I'm making. They're not as green as you would think they would be, but if you had a regular chocolate chip cookie next to them, I think you would be able to tell there's a little something going on. But it's really just for a little extra flavor. All right, so our cookies are all scooped. Now I'm just gonna go around with a couple of extra pieces of chocolate, and I like to just kind of put a few right on top of each cookie, and I feel like it looks really pretty after it spreads and it bakes. So I'm just dotting them with maybe like two or three. And I forgot to mention earlier that if your butter hasn't, I guess, solidified enough in your dough mixture that you can scoop or portion out your cookies, I would just pop the bowl in the fridge for like 20 minutes or so, just to let it get solid enough to scoop. I don't like a lot of chocolate in my chocolate chip cookies. I like a little bit of everything, I guess. I want to taste the brown sugar. I want to taste all the vanilla. I don't want to just taste chocolate. So that's why I go a little light on the chocolate sometimes. All right, so these are our cookies. They're all ready to go in the refrigerator. I'm going to chill these for probably 30 minutes or so. An hour would probably be great too. At this point, you can also just wrap these up and freeze them, or you can probably keep them in the fridge for a few days also, if you just wrap them up or put them in a plastic bag and then bake them whenever you want. So we're going to pop them in our fridge, and then I will bake these and we'll get back to you. All right, so our cookies have chilled for about a half an hour. That's the minimum I would recommend doing. Any less than that, they're going to spread a lot. They're nice and solid, and we're going to bake them at 375 for around 9 minutes or so, like 8 to 10 minutes. This is kind of also a personal preference on, you know, how well done you like your cookies. So I would definitely check them at around 8 minutes and then use your judgment from there. All right, let's bake these. So while those bake, I'm actually going to take the rest of our cookie dough and I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to freeze these for, you can freeze these for a couple months, honestly. They stay really well. But I like to have cookies on hand for a lot of different times where people are like, oh, do you have anything? Do you have anything ready to make? Like, I'm just looking for something. Like the other day, my husband was like, oh, it was so nice that our neighbor let us borrow their snowblower for our driveway. Can we make them some chocolate chip cookies? And I wish I had some ready to go in our freezer, but I didn't. So, you know, obviously I just made a fresh batch anyway, but they're always good to have on hand, especially also if you have company coming over and, you know, you don't have anything made. So these stay well in the freezer, and you can just bake off whatever you need. You don't, that's the nice thing about doing it like this. So I've got my in-house taste tester ready to go.
Easiest job in the world.
We have our cookies. Oops. We have our cookies baked off. They took about 10 minutes. They're still nice and warm from the oven.
Do I need to get a glass of milk?
If that's something that you love, I love it too.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So these are our pistachio chocolate chip cookies. They have pistachio nuts going through them and a little bit of pistachio paste as well, just to give it a little extra flavor. It doesn't really color it very much because the brown, from the brown sugar and the vanilla and the brown butter kind of overpowers the natural color of the pistachio paste, but the flavor is going to be there, and that's all we care about. So go ahead, you dig in, pick whichever one you want.
Pistachio?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's so soft. Let me take it. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. It's a little salty.
Mm-hmm.
A little salty. I don't know if you've ever heard me. So good. I'm going to take this.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope if you make this recipe, you let me know. I would love to hear all about it, especially, you know, I would love to hear if you like it. And thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to our videos if you enjoyed this one. Good night.